Hi everybody. So what I'm going to do is essentially read my testimony to you here. Let me give you a little bit of a backstory. So yesterday, you may already know this from watching Stephanie and Michelle's update, but we went to the State House yesterday. We made a day of it. We were there from about 8 until 3 or 3:34 even. We heard testimony on about 4 to 5 other bills. The chair, Huffman, allowed them to speak anywhere from 10 to 15 or 20 minutes on various bills. And then when we came up, we had 31 testimonies, people that were present to speak why they oppose House Bill 559, and so we were limited at that point to 3 minutes. We had not known that, and especially, particularly since we had sat there all morning and no one else had limited it. We didn't know, so we were all, trying to take pens and edit down our testimonies right there on the spot. So that was somewhat difficult, but we managed to give testimony, at least, until the 3-minute time limit, but what we wanted to do was share with a little bit of a larger audience, because the other thing was we were banned from any public taping, videoing. So up until now at hearings we had been able to do that so that, a little bit of larger audience could see these, public hearings. So what I want to do right now is just read through my testimony. This may be boring to some of you unless you're interested in this issue. But if you are, it may interest you. This is House Bill 559, and I won't go into what the bill says. If you want to look that up, it's Ohio House Bill 559. What I'll do is just read my testimony, and that will sort of show you kind of what the bill is about, I think, and let me know if you have any questions. So this is how my testimony would have been read. Good morning, Chair Huffman, Vice Chair Gavarone, Ranking Member Antonio, and honored members of the Health Committee. Thank you for allowing me to provide opponent testimony on House Bill 559. My name is Heather Coy. I am an Ohio attorney and a parent. Also, I suffered an anaphylactic reaction to DTP shot in the 1980s. I strongly oppose this bill, and I urge you to carefully consider the ramifications should such legislation pass. As a parent, I have used the exemption process myself for doing selective vaccinations for school over the past 18 years. The current process works perfectly well, and the system for tracking vaccinations is already in place. Currently, a parent files a religious or conscientious exemption with the school. The nurse files that record with the school and reports it to the health department. Each year in which a vaccination is due, a report is sent to parents' homes, which shows all vaccines the child has had, any listed exemptions, and natural immunity from having had an illness such as chickenpox. Changes to the current law based on purported lack of data or tracking are unnecessary. The schools already have a process in place for removing or quarantining children from school if they have not had a particular vaccine and an outbreak of that illness occurs. Therefore, publishing such data is merely exposing a child's medical information to the public unnecessarily and could lead to discrimination. Your analysis of the legislation suggests that there are no major changes made to existing exemption law as far as maintaining the reasons of conscience exemption, including religious. However, in Section 3701, 1310D2, the bill proposes a process entirely outside of the current procedure, introducing a physician's signature requirement on all exemptions, including religious. There is currently nothing in our Ohio Revised Code that forces parents to schedule a doctor visit to exercise their exemption rights. Adding these provisions constitutes violations of our federal and state constitutions. HB 559 violates the First Amendment free exercise of religion because beliefs which are religious in nature and sincerely held are protected religious beliefs. States may decide to be more lenient in their requirements than the First Amendment dictates, but they may not be more restrictive. A state requirement that parents receive a vaccine education dictated by a physician, pharmacist, or other person licensed to administer vaccines amounts to the state overstepping the bounds of our U.S. Constitution. HB 559 violates the Ohio Constitution Section I-21A, which states, "No federal, state, or local law or rule shall compel, directly or indirectly, any person, employer, or healthcare provider to participate in a healthcare system." The bill violates this section by forcing a parent to consult a physician. During the April 15th introduction of the bill, both Representatives Landis and Gonzalez stated that a visit to one of these care providers will not be required. They mentioned several times that faxing the form will suffice. However, there is no mention of faxing in the bill. Therefore, it is uncertain whether that will suffice should this become law. Many doctors have an ethical imperative to speak to patients personally about care and treatment of patients. Do you think most doctors would be comfortable faxing forms to parents? I honestly do not. Also, why is this not part of the bill if it's such an important part of the practical application of this proposed change? It seems that instead of legislation designed to coerce parents into using these products, we could spend more time properly informing all parents, and not just those who decline, on the possible risks of vaccines, including how to recognize adverse events and injuries. That is true informed consent. Forcing a doctor visit is a conflict of interest because physicians are receiving extra compensation for an otherwise unnecessary visit. It places the financial burden on parents when perhaps the real root of the problem, if there even is one, is school reporting. This additional burden does nothing to add to the information that is already available from our Centers for Disease Control and our Ohio Health Department. For all of these reasons, I strongly urge you to vote no on 559. Thank you.